Hello, welcome back to Mother's Wild Heart. I'm so glad you came to see another one of these videos. This is very valuable things to me because I've learned them along the way on my healing journey in being a mother and having a mental health problem. This is really a fantastic tool that has helped me in the communication with my husband because we tend to argue all the time if we don't be intentional or if we don't be careful or if we don't have that was really bad grammar, pardon me. I hear the mistake afterwards, but then I don't know how to correct it. So yeah, we had to be very mindful of the skills we use to have better communication because we are very different people, so opposite, which can be a very good thing, but for us we just clash a lot. I had to very much work on not coming across controlling because I just really wanted to see change, and I've been too forceful in that, and then my husband saw force in everything, even my loving suggestions weren't perceived. We both had to learn so much. None of us hasn't done the journey really well, but now we're kind of getting a hold on this. Something that has worked really well for us is the non-aggressive communication style. It comes in 4 steps, and it starts with speaking about an observation rather than a judgment. So an example would be, instead of saying, you always leave the mess around, that's a judgment, to walk in a room and be like, oh, I see, the dishes are stacked in the sink. I see that the table's not wiped up, or I see that the bin has to be taken out. So that's different than, you're so messy, you always leave the house so those are like, I think it comes across. And then something that has changed in our communication is when I say, seeing the bin overflowing has an impact on my well-being. So that is really different than when I say, I'm so angry to see this again. So when I say this impacts on my well-being, because my husband in his core really wants to see my well-being happen, and he doesn't want to be a stumbling block to that, or even a reason why I don't have well-being. So he'll be like, oh, okay. So he's way more empathetic when I come across like that. So I might say, hey, I see the bins overflowing, and that is impacting on my well-being. I feel like there's a bit of chaos around. So then using a feeling rather than a thought, because thinking can often be judgment again, whereas feelings is more personal. So if I say, I feel concerned, or I feel stressed, or worried, or forgotten, or abandoned, all those things are different than the judgmental thoughts we can have. And then it's my responsibility to express my need, but not in like a, you have to make me happy and I need this from you. It's actually placing value on what I want and then letting it go. So for example, I would value a clean home. So it's not like I need a clean home to be happy, because that puts so much pressure on it, but more like, I value a clean home and that would make my well-being so much better. So do you understand how me saying not need, but me saying I value is expressing a need, but it just doesn't come across as aggressive as needy. The word says needy, and I think men can often tend to be allergic to that word and pull back. And then if in German we say Göttergatte. I don't really know a word for English. Similar to God, but we're not calling our husbands God. But Göttergatte means like, yeah, it's a cute version of like, or maybe the harem leader or the pasha. It's actually a silly word, but it says that you want to esteem your husband high. If he hasn't offered by that point to be like, hey, do you want me to take the dinner? That'd be nice. But if he doesn't, it's then our responsibility to communicate that clearly, because in my story, communication has been so important, because me being like, duh, blink, blink, did not help him be like, he'll be like, what, do you have something in your eye? Whereas he wants me to communicate clearly, and for me that is very strenuous, but it is what he needs, and I just need the grace and mercy then to just give that. So instead of saying, take the bin out, that's a command, it's not a request. A request is, would you be willing to take the bin out? And then for me, it is very clearly that you would hose down the bin and put it out in the sun to dry, and check if we have enough bin liners, or what are they called, bin bags. But then that's not coming natural to him as well. So for me to ask him all those steps is my responsibility. And he can actually then say no or yes. He will probably say yes because I've communicated about my well-being. I've not been forceful, not been judgmental. He'll definitely say yes. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes he says, I have a meeting starting in 1 minute, and that's where we have to be camaraderie. And that's when I hope that he will say sorry. He'll be like, I would love to, I can't do it right now. If it can wait an hour, I'll do it then. If it can't wait an hour, I'm so sorry to leave you with this task, but I really do have to chat away. And there's grace and mercy for that as well. But if he says, no, not my problem, then there will be no less grace and mercy. But we are called to have grace with each other. We are called to love each other, and this is just one of those ways to love ourselves and love the partner. And I hope that these steps helped you. So the first one was observation, just explaining what you see. The second was expressing your feelings. The third one is expressing your need through what you value, and then requesting what you want, not assuming that he had to pick it up or he has to know the answer right now. It's just about being very, very black and white. But you have already set the stage with where this sits in the relationship. Whereas if you come with only the request, would you be willing to take out the bin? And he's like, no, not now. You can have this whole rush of disappointment come out. So, you never hear me. So I think leading up to the conversation, this is really important. And this literally takes 2 minutes. And it has really, really changed our communication. So I want to encourage you that fighting in around the same circles is actually possible to break the cycle, and your communication can improve. And ultimately, I believe in marriage, and I believe in staying together. There are always situations where that is not the best idea. That's when someone's feeling unsafe and in danger. But if it's just small fights, what it was with us, just small arguments constantly going around in circles, it is my responsibility how I communicate, and still be honoring and honor the other person's freedom of choice, and not take everything personal, even if they say no, not to feel abandoned, not to fall into a hole of abandonment, and not to have resentment and want to revenge. That will just continue the bad cycle. So it's possible to have freedom in your relationship, and it's possible to start enjoying your relationship again, even after 8 years of fighting. You still have the future ahead of you. You have the moment and the future. So I encourage you, fight for the person you love and fight for yourself. All is well. Speak peace to your mind and courage to your heart. Love you. Bye.